Good morning and welcome in Győr in Hungary for this day 2 of the 2025 Sitting Volleyball European Championship. We had an amazing day yesterday to start a competition, and once again we expect a lot of action today. We're still in the group stage. We will follow the action both in the men's tournament and in the women's tournament. 12 teams engaged for men's, 9 for women to compete for this title of European Champion. This will be on Saturday evening. But let's focus on the first game of this day that we'll share together. It's Hungary at home against Ukraine. It's a very interesting game in the Group A because Ukraine won their first 2 games yesterday against Croatia and Poland. Hungary had the worst start ever against France, losing eventually 3-0, which never happened in their history against France. But then they had some great reaction against Turkey, a victory 3-1 with the superstar of the team, Robert Kurtis, scoring 41 points in 4 sets. Well, he is clearly the guy that Ukraine has to stop. Ukraine is favorite. Ukraine finished on the podium in Kaoli for 2 years. They finished 7th in last year's Paralympics. They're ranked 5th in Europe. Let's see if Hungary can do something at home. They need a second victory at some point in this group stage if they want to reach the quarterfinals on Thursday. Here is the Hungarian roster led by István Balog with this player number 11, Robert Kurtis. He is alongside very experienced players. We mentioned József Circer, one of the setter, János Perez, the captain, who is likely to stay on the bench, but also very young talent, Szabó Szerendy, Ferenc Szekely. They didn't have a great start in the competition against France yesterday. They did much better against Turkey yesterday afternoon. We'll see what they can do this morning at home in front of their home crowd. Well, what about this team of Ukraine? All those guys are very experienced. Only one was not in Paris last summer for the Paralympics. It's Nazar Timoshko. Otherwise, the entire roster is the same. The head coach is the same. This team is used to have medals in European competitions. They only finished 4th in this year's Golden Nations League, which was quite a surprise as they 2 times lost against Croatia. They did better yesterday morning, defeating Croatia 3-1. But of course, they are one more time seeking for a medal here in Hungary, and they will have the hope to have a perfect run in this group stage, and it comes today with a victory against Hungary. Let's see what they can do. Ukraine only has 1 game to play today. That's how it is in a group with 6 teams. You play 5 games out of 3 days, so it means that one day you only have 1 to go. It's the case for Ukraine today. Hungary will be in that case tomorrow when they will be only facing Croatia. So Ukraine has to give full power, full energy in this game. They don't need any additional energy later today. Ukraine in blue, Hungary in red. Where's the difference between the 2 teams? Ukraine is playing with the libero Yuri Kovalchuk. Hungary make the choice not to do so. They did it in the Silver Nations League last month in France. It was a bit different context. They were allowed to have valid players or non-classified players on court, which is not the case here for this European Championship. You know the rule. You need maximum to have 2 vs2 players in the roster and 1 on court at all time. That's the regulation of this high-level competition here in Europe. Of course, Ukraine, they want to secure the first place in this Group A, which would allow them to have an easier quarterfinal, even if it's never easy to play quarterfinal. But still, at least we play when we look at the standings. It's really tough when we just meet with the international referees, Miroslav Jurošek from Slovakia and Christian Battisti from Italy. There will be the 2 officials in this first game of the day on court number 1. Yeah, the ranking of this Group A is really interesting. With Ukraine with 2 victories, and then we have 4 teams with 1 victory: Croatia, France, Hungary, Poland. Turkey did not win so far, even if they had a good run against Poland yesterday morning. They had a good game against Hungary later yesterday. Nothing is done to know who will be able to reach the quarterfinals. Ukraine already has a good chance to be there, but still, everything can still happen in this Group A. It's 6 for Ukraine, Korinets, Vichenko, Oryakin, Petrenchuk, Przyczepa, Roman Przyczepa, two brothers in the team, Kalamov. And for Hungary, we will start with Velek. Janos Perez is starting, Kern Sekli, Kovacs, Robert Kurtes, and Szabolcs Zarendi. Joseph Stirzer will be on the bench. That's a big change compared to what we saw yesterday to start the day. While Ukraine is just so experienced and they have many options on the bench. Imagine that Alexander Drapak is not playing. I mean, he cannot play in the same time when Petrenchuk is on the court because the two are classified VS2, but he is a very good addition as well. Andrei Przyczepa can also come in. Well, they have a lot of options. And the first serve of this game will be for Hungary and for Szabolcs Zarendi. We mentioned the 41 points that Robert Kurtes scored yesterday afternoon against Turkey. He will be the man in charge of scoring points, and it really depends how much he's able to score, how many points he can do. We discussed one more time with the French statistician. If he can do 10 or more per set, then Hungary has a chance. If you can limit him to just 8 points or less, then you have a chance to win the set. Well, Ukraine is probably not considering him at all. They want to play on their side of the court, and they will just focus on that. Not even sure that they are working on some specific game plan for this game. There might be a huge difference between the two teams, but let's see what this morning's game has in store. First block by Sekli. The net full call against Sekli. He had very good blocking actions in the point, but then he also touched the net. Good serve, Roman Przyczepa. The oldest of the two Przyczepa brothers, 36 years old. Good serve on Zarendi. First ball for Kurtes. Just out, human angle on that swing. And the last time the two teams met, this was exactly 2 years ago at European Championship in Italy. Kali and Ukraine won that group stage game 3-0, where Hungary was not ridiculous, 25-16, 25-12, 25-20. Let's see how much Hungary improved since then. Another point for Ukraine. Still no point for Hungary so far. 5-0 start for the team in blue. Przyczepa with the help of the net. Kurtes blocked. And the lifting called against Petrenchuk. Ukraine, I mentioned it, played last summer during the Summer Paralympics. They finished 7th. Kurtes through the middle, blocked by Petrenchuk. Blocked by Petrenchuk. And lifting called against Ukraine one more time. This time it's Ruslan Horyakin who got whistled. And if you are connected with us early this morning for this first game of the day between Hungary and Ukraine, a warm welcome on the Volleyball Europe YouTube channel. As always, a warm pleasure to have you with us. More and more fans are following the action, and we have an exciting week ahead. We're only in the group stage until tomorrow evening, and then we will know which teams will compete for the quarterfinals. Lifting called against Laszlo Kovacs, one of the two Hungarian setter. There's quite a mismatch in terms of height with Bitchenko. Horyakin and Bitchenko. Easy conclusion for Ukraine. this is just too easy for him. And the score is already gap between the two teams pretty big when you look at the scoreboard. 8 points to 2 and now 9 points to 2. The first time on call by Hungary. Everything is just going so quick and too quick for them. Court number 2, there will be a game between Bosnia and Herzegovina and the Netherlands. This is in Group B, and the game on court number 3 is a game from the women's tournament between Italy and the Netherlands. We will be busy later today with the women's tournament. They are also still in the group stage. 9 teams engaged for the women. One group of 5, one group of 4, which means that only one team will not see the quarterfinals. For the moment, the worst start in the competition is for Croatia with 2 defeats in the first day. They will have a lot of work to do if they want to see the quarterfinals on Thursday. Substitution for Hungary, in addition to this timeout, with Josef Domina coming in for Christian Velek. And Horyakin is still the man in charge of the serve. Keretes, touched by the block. This point is for Hungary. Will be replayed because some ball came unexpected on court. Lamov able to find some space between the antenna and the blocker. For Keretes as the block out. Bichenko is almost asking Horyakin to move a bit to try to cover. Good serve by Keretes. Horyakin is well positioned, but cannot control this ball. Let's see if the Hungarian number 11 can start a streak. Well, streak is over with this block by Yevgeny Korinets. And if you're just discovering sitting volleyball, of course this action is the one you never saw before in volleyball. It's allowed in sitting volleyball to block the serve. And it's actually a good weapon to score points, but also some difficult parameter to take for the server. You have to avoid the block, but still land the ball into the court. It's not easy. That's good. Shepa blocked, but this ball goes on the Hungarian side. Zarandi. It looked almost like a free ball. Shepa blocked, but Horyakin is not deep enough in the court to properly dig it. You're not quite sure this ball would have landed into the court, but he was so much hesitating. Finally took it. Oh, save cover himself. Well done, Kharlamov. Multi. Kharlamov again. No, it was for Bichenko from the back row. Perfect swing by the Ukrainian captain. $12 for Ukraine, 7 for Hungary. Goes a bit better since the change and the timeout for Hungary, but they're still 5 behind. Perish for Sekli. Kovacs unable to have a good reception on that serve from Harlamov. Will he be the target again? Yes, he is. It's touched by the block. Kurtis with this soft spike. Hungary will make the point because the set is from Roman Prishepa. It's not good enough. Hungary. Schenkel touched by the block. He's scoring a lot this morning. This is already his 6th point of the game. Best score on court. Kurtis only has 4. Here's the big guy, dig by Bitchenko. First dig was really good, but then Sekli directly aimed to him on the spot. He was not able to get replaced on time. Well done, Sekli. Well, if they're able to find other solution than Kurtis with Sekli, with Zarandi, this will make things a lot different, and Ukraine does not want to see Hungary coming back in this game. They call a timeout. Well, they were led by 7 points, now it's only 5, which means that Hungary is able to play quite at the same level for a certain period. But that's the entire thing and difficult thing for everyone facing these huge teams like Ukraine, like Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's to find solutions for an entire set and an entire game, which is absolutely not easy. Served by Zarandi, but then it goes really quick. The set for Petranchuk, able to conclude that point pretty easily. No one was digging this area in the center of the court. Kurtis, he had a strong swing, but the block was well positioned with Ruslan Horyakin. And when the block is just so good position, you can hit as hard as you want. You're just facing a wall. This time he decided to spike in between the two blockers. Too strong. And the gap increased again, even if Roman Prishepa just had this unforced at the serve. It's again a 7-point lead for Ukraine early in this game. We are again with Ruslan Horyakin. Kurtis takes some risks to score. But it's out, and we have Double substitution coming for Ukraine with Dmytro Melnik coming in for Petranchuk. And Alexander Drapak in for Halamov. Drapak just partied for birthday. This was last Saturday. He turned 44. Birthday he will remember here in Győr. Bitchenko deep in the court. In the lifting hold against Dmytro Melnik. Bitchenko for the back set. Melnik almost mishit the ball, but it's enough to make the point. And Ukrainian players are laughing of this ball contact, but we never ask you how you did it. We ask you if you scored or not, and they did. Good swing, Bitchenko, blocked by Hungary. Is this one over the net? No, Drapak gave full power, but not enough height in his spike. Reception is easy. Fight at the net. Bitchenko. It's just so easy. He just raises his arms and just have it with a very quick movement in some specific spot off the court. Makes it so difficult for the opponent to dig it. Bitchenko scoring another point for Ukraine, 23-13. Sikalski is in for Roman Prishepa. Bitchenko a bit greedy on that serve, but at least he had fun trying it. Sikalski with the tip, just over the block. Well done, Ukraine. This is first set point for the team in blue, and they will go for an additional substitution, with this time the youngest brother Andriy Prishepa coming in for Ruslan Horyakin. And Alexander Drapak with a tactical serve. No risk. Free ball Ukraine. Prishepa. No touch by the block. He tried to find some space there, deep towards position 5. Just a bit out of court. Janos Perez with the serve. Bitchenko from the back row. This was in between Sekli and Sarandi, also a bit too long. Domina surprised by this spike coming in his direction, and that's the 25th point for Ukraine in this first set. Ukraine leads now, 1-0. I'll have a quick look at the statistics. Best scorer on court is Denis Bitchenko, Ukrainian captain, with 8 points. And on the Hungarian side, only 3 players scored points, with Kurtis being the best scorer with 5 units. But he will need definitely more if they want to at least take a set to Ukraine. I mean, the score is pretty decent. When you see 25-16, you say it's okay, but they had such a bad start, led 9 points to 2, and they could just never close that gap. Well, Hungary had a lot of difficulties to go into the game against France. Curtis scored only 4 in the first set. A lot of pressure around them playing here at home in Győr. They did a lot better yesterday afternoon against Turkey. But when we look at the standings, Turkey is also, for the moment, the weakest team in this group, and it's nothing negative, but it's the only team without any victory after day one. They can probably do much better today. They will be facing France at 2 p.m. and then Croatia at 7 p.m. I mean, Turkey will need to win some games if they want to see the quarterfinals. They earned their spot in this European Championships at home. This was last November in Győr. I got lucky to be there to see a great Turkish team, great event as well in Turkey. So they won that competition at home, and they came here with a lot of expectations. And reaching the quarterfinals is at least what they want. And if you want to go through the entire rules, so of course there is the title to be won this week. Which team will lift the trophy? That's one question. But there is another one, is to know who will go down again in European Championship B. And this will be for the team ranked 10, 11 and 12. So the last 3 teams of this week, talking about the men's competition, there we got down again to the B division, and no one wants to be there next year. Kovacs, the one-hand set for Kurtesh, blocked. He self-covers himself, and Kovacs on Vichenko. Not enough of reflex timing for Ukrainian captain. And the first point of this second set is for Ukraine. Domina is on court. Sarani was the target on this swing. And not surprising, Hungary decided to leave Ferenc Szekely on the bench. We have Kovacs, Peres, and Domina, and Christian Velek. And why not? They're trying something. Kovacs, Kurtesh through the middle, and just touches Vichenko's right hand. A strong swing. Let's see how good he can do in this set, but he cannot be the only one. It's still team sports. He will need good reception. He will need good set, also good serves to avoid this easy points and easy blocks for Ukraine. Perez with the set. Kurtesh playing with Dmitro Melnik's hands on this block out. Melnik is in the starting 6 as well. On the Ukrainian side, he came in. In the first set. That's the only substitution that Ukraine did in the second set, leaving Alexei Kharlamov on the bench. Vichenko from the back row, just out. Janos Perez coming to the referee. Well, it's the last time for Istvan Balak. Before, it could look like a yellow card, but I mean, he was not right in his reaction, but the reason why is because the line judge misjudged this ball. He was saying it's in, but it's out. Well, anyway, for all as it stands, the atmosphere is really good between these two teams. Finally, the call was the good one. Galek not able to dig it properly. He was on the good trajectory. Too hard to have a proper dig. This ball was in. Curtis from the back row. It's in for Hungary. And as long as they can keep the pace, and they can stay in contention, they will believe in their chance to do something in this set. But they also have to avoid these easy 3 points that they give on due serve. I mean, if you're serving hard, taking some risks, then it makes sense that you will make some mistakes. But if you're just not taking risk, at least you have to put the ball inside the court and over the net, of course. Domina, that's the lifting called against Hungarian number 3. Was it against Domina or Zarelli? I don't know. Zarelli was discussing with Christian Battisti about this lifting or not. Anyway, the decision stays the same. Curtis, well, he was not in the best position, but he couldn't do better than spiking this one out. Maxim Petrenchuk. No, it's, sorry, Yevgeny Korinets. I could see number 7 on his jersey when he was sitting there. It's number 2, sorry about that, Yevgeny Korinets. For the serve, 10-5 Ukraine. Just touched by Kovacs at the block. I mean, this is always the question. When you know you cannot like completely block it, is it better to touch it? But then it's even more difficult for the guys behind you to cover and to take a proper reception, or not to touch it at all, to leave them with a clear trajectory. So it's very easy from my position to wonder if it's worth or not to touch the ball. But the reality is that it just goes so fast. These athletes are just able to serve so fast. But it's not easy to really adapt, to remove the hands in case. If you hear the local announcer, it's because the game will start on court number 3 between Italy and the Netherlands. This is the women's tournament. Italy is the title holder. We have in the venue this morning the 2 title holders from Kaoli. Italy for the women and Bosnia and Herzegovina. They are playing on court number 2 and they're taking on the Netherlands. We are back here on court number 1. We are almost in the middle of this second set between Ukraine and Hungary. 11-5 for Ukraine as it stands. Ukraine also won the first set, 25-16. Ferenc Sekli is in for Josef Domina. obviously this changed something for Hungary. Belek with the reception, Janos Perez. Good block. Curtis was able to swing from the back row, but he was not able to change any angle because he was almost taking the ball behind him. Plenty of time to look what the situation was, and you look, Perez, Velek and Curtis were just so far away, so deep in the court, that of course they could never come to dig that small little chip. Now time this swing from the back row, just touched by the block, but this point is for Hungary. With Andrei Sikalski coming in for Ruslan Horyakin. Ukraine try to make everyone participate in this group stage when they can. Deep free ball for Hungary. Sekri in the middle, one time, two time. Yes, sir. And that's his third point of the game. The best scorer still is Bichenko with 9. He didn't score a lot in this second one, but Ukraine don't need this to have a lead. At this point for Roman Pritshepa. Bichenko with the block. Free ball there. Not easy for Andrei Sikalski, but it's so annoying for Hungary that no one is able to come and cover this ball. That looked pretty easy, but once again, from my position, it's super easy to say that. Good serve, Curtis for the reception, and Kovacs for the one-hand set. The Trenchard blocked the set, actually touched Kovacs' hand. Very experienced players with 52 years old. That's still a 7 points lead for Ukraine. Even if Hungary is not giving up and they will try to close the gap as much as they can. They have their big guy in the front row. Good block, Curtis. With the tip. Well, Ukraine scored a lot with tips in this second set. Second pushes it deep towards position 5 on the libero. Good block by Christian Velek. And they will need just players to get more involved. It's only the first point of Velek in this game. Bichenko, blocked by Kurtesh. If we can start to block Bichenko, then we'll have a great head-to-head between the two players. Bichenko again, touched by Curtis. The ball is alive off! And it's the captain, Janos Perez, not able to have a set on that one. Of course, the ball was a bit low. It's so frustrating for them when they are able to touch the ball at the block, dig it, and then not able to have a good contact. Free ball Ukraine. Schenko wins the set. Perish with the foot. Kurtesh! This is catch. Listen again. Robert Kurtesh, quite surprising. I had the feeling he pushed it with 10 fingers, but anyway, that's the referee's decision. It's always the best. Vichenko. Lifting called either against Velek or Perez. I mean, of course, Hungary do not agree because they were coming back, and then again, it's a 7 points lead for Ukraine. Vichenko was the block. When Janos Perez is facing the tall guy of Ukraine, it's not easy for him. And substitution with Nazar Timoshko coming in for Yevgeny Korinets. Timoshko is the only guy who did not participate in the Paralympic Games last year in Paris. It was Anatoly Andruzenko at his place. Andruzenko is now 61 years old, so they needed to refresh a bit the roster. And they brought Nazar Timoshko in addition. He's 31 years old. Now he is also sitting on court, classified as VS1. Just a bit too deep, the serve from Kurtesh. 21-13. Ukraine leads the way and set to 0. And again in this one, Vichenko. We could hear the sound of the net on this impact. Strong swing, but just a couple of millimeters were missing to have this ball going over the net level. Velek, that's a huge mistake, not enough risk, and a huge unforced, a lot too deep. And Ukraine is getting closer and closer, only 3 points away from the win in this second set. Kurtesh, good reception. Sekli in the Ukrainian block, and then under the net. Substitution coming from Ukrainian bench. That's a good substitution. The two brother Roman coming out, Andrei coming in, Prishepa's brother. We have father and son in the Turkish side, and we have the two brothers playing for Ukraine. Sekli in trouble on this reception. That's the 24th point for Ukraine. First set point on Melnik's serve. Randy wins his fight at the net to score one more point for Hungary. It sounds like it's a bit too late already. Janos Perez, Hungarian captain, on this set point. And this is the second set now for Ukraine, leading 2-0 against Hungary. Well, not a lot to say. 25-16, 25-15. Ukraine is doing a very good job in this game. They are not forcing their talent, they're just playing what they know. And it's just the level difference between the two teams is just too big for the moment for Hungary to have any chance in that game. Of course, they will keep on fighting, but the best example is once again this top player that Hungary has, Kertész was only able to score 4 points in this second set. That's definitely not enough. If they want to have a chance, we mentioned he needs to score at least 8 to 10 points per set, which was not the case with only 9 points in total so far. Let me use this set break to thank one more time all the partners involved, especially the one you can see there behind the court. Morton for the balls, Manage Sports for the website of Paravolley Europe and of the competitions that Paravolley Europe organizes. Of course, Győr Floor for the playing surface, and Sportec for adapted post and net to sitting volleyball. You know, we need a specific post to match the height of the net. We need a shorter net as well, because the court is not that wide than the one you know in volleyball. And if you're just joining the action, it's day 2 of this European Championship of sitting volleyball here in Győr, Hungary. We had a great first day with a lot of surprises actually, and the day finished super late yesterday when we were still preparing today's games. Italy and Serbia were still playing here in the venue. It finished around 10:45. A 3-2 thriller between these two teams, and finally the victory for Serbia, 15-13 in the fifth. Of course, you can find all the games, highlights, results, standings, schedule, everything you need to know on this competition is on the Paravolley Europe website. You also have all the links on the YouTube channel. If you want to watch another game, on court number 2, it's Bosnia and Herzegovina taking on the Netherlands in the men's competition. And if you are more aware of women's tournament, the Netherlands are playing as well against Italy on court number 3. And of course, we will be busy later today with the women's tournament. It's always a pleasure to share my time between men's tournament and women's tournament. I try to cover as many countries as possible to entertain you and to share with you our passion of sitting volleyball. Set number 3 is on the way. Who will score the first point? Bitchenko digging Kertész. And Petranchuk scoring this first point for Ukraine. So Timoshko is in the starting 6 for this third set. Sekli is back in for Hungary. But still no Josef Sterzer. I don't know if he got injured or something yesterday. But I remember that commentating the Silver Nations League in Caen earlier this year, this was end of June, he was struggling. He was playing a lot of games in a row. He is for sure a very good setter. But being already 61 years old, doesn't make things easy when you have to play 2 games per day, which will be the case once again for Hungary today. They will be back on track this evening, 6:15 against Poland, for another important game for them, because they will need at some point to secure a second victory if they want to see quarterfinals at home. They had the first one yesterday afternoon against Turkey. They will have, after this game against Ukraine, 2 more games to play. Poland tonight and Croatia tomorrow. You know that Croatia is maybe the second strongest team in this group, just behind Ukraine. I mean behind, because Croatia lost to Ukraine yesterday morning. But when we look at the recent history between these two teams, Croatia did pretty well each time they played Ukraine. 2 victories against the recent Golden Nation League in Germany, both in the pool stage and in the bronze medal game. Kertész, the spike is out. Good swing, Kurtesh. He finds the blockout, this time on Timoshko. For all, Hungary would need a streak from their strong number 11. Will not be for this rotation. Ukraine already switched that one. We are back with Bitchenko. Not foul call against Hungary. High ball for Sekli. Dig by Bitchenko. Oof, almost no one took it. Another netful whistle against Janos Perez. Yeah, he knows he touched the net, he raised his hand, but that's just 2 in a row. And they absolutely need to avoid this unforced error if they want to have a chance to stay in contention. It's already hard enough. There's the help of the net, the point for Nazar Timoshko. 8-4, Ukraine. Kurtesh, blocked by Roman Krishepa. Krishepa is the second best scorer for Ukraine so far with 7 points. And with this 9-4 lead for Ukraine, Hungary is forced to take the first time out in this third set. Well, Ukraine is always able to build some comfortable gap at the beginning of the set, and the same scenario repeated now 3 times in a row. And then Hungary has to fight back, or at least try to fight back, which is absolutely not easy. Even if he's a world-class player, he's also struggling with the post-timeout serve. Lead is decreased to just 4 points now. Can Christian Velek close this one on his serve? Reception is good. No, not enough. It's on the Hungary side. Oh, why not? Hungary can't believe they could do it. Ten to 6. And Nazar Timoshko is the next Ukrainian player to serve. Kurtesh deep into the court. Roman Krishepa. Oh, there is some netfold whistle against Ukraine. We'll see it again while swinging. Yeah. His right forearm hit the upper part of the net. Good call by Yaroslav Yarushek. Prishepa blocked by Sekli. Good dig in the middle of the court. Zarandi. Sekli, what a great point. Prishepa is dirty touch. No. And Hungary is fighting back in this third set. Oh, this was close. Not fitting. Sekli was pretty close to touch it with one finger. But anyway, we don't have any video challenge on this court number 1. For the scenario of the game, it would be awesome that Hungary could at some point take the lead to see how Ukraine could react. But for the moment, we are not in that situation, because this next point is for Ukraine. They have, again, a 3-point lead. From Bitchenko. Zarandi is the reflex to self-cover his own block. Wow, that was close. Wow, they have Kurtis now in the front row. Zarandi serving. Help of the net. Bitchenko was the one hand set. Was more one arm. He basically set the ball with the fist close and forearm, which is not easy, especially not if you want to have control in the area where you send the ball for your attacker. Kurtis, monster block, Petrenchuk. For Ukraine, 9 for Hungary. A bit of mopping action here on court number 1, and you see the entire venue of Győr University. Great facilities here. For a great European Championship. What a serve by Roman Prishepa. That's an ace for Ukrainian number 8. His third of the day. And Ukraine going to some substitution. Well, that's for sure. If Alexander Drapak wants to come in, Maxim Petrenchuk has to come out. The two VS2 players of the roster. This time a mistake from Prishepa. Direct blocked by Ukraine. Was the serve just out. Laszlo Kovacs, and that's with a reception, drop back for Bitchenko. First block. Oh, that's surprising because Paris was not in the best position, and Timoshko, while blocking him, touched the net, gave a free point to Hungary. This is absolutely not pleasing. Alexander Drapak, full send on this swing. That's the 15th point for Ukraine in this third set. Out. Kurdish serve so strong in Venek's hand. Basically, he heard he's going to make such a hot power. Lutsenko just touched by Kurd. Can they build something? Yes, they can with Kurtesh from the back row. That's a good swing. Another point for Hungary, only one behind. This one is maybe the most important one, to find some equalizer at some point. To Shepa, what a swing in between the blockers' arms. He was not in a perfect position, but still he could find a solution, perfect angle, perfect power. Ukraine do not want to get in any trouble in this third set. They want to conclude the game. They have to be more accurate in such situations. Moscow with the unforced error with the serve. She's taking reception. Shepa. Point for Ukraine with that net fault called against. Probably Frank Sekli was sitting there in position 3 and touched the net. Kurtesh blocked by Shepa. He scored the last 3 points for Ukraine. Lutsenko on the line. Well, Perez was too much to the inside. Randy came to block, but Perez never had time to go there. He was missing 1.5 meters to have a chance to dig it. Ukraine increased the lead again with this ace. It's now 22-17, a 5 points lead, and this could be pretty soon the end of the hopes of Hungary in this game. They're not able to have good reception now. Or a block by Sekli. No one covers this position 1, and even if Ukraine was not in the best shape in the point, they are still able to score the 23rd point. New substitution to come. Andriy Shikalski in for Ruslan Horyakin. Dropak will play in position 2. Shikalski. In position 4. Lutsenko from the back row. The dig Kurtesh. Moscow was the dig. By Kurtesh, but no one wants to take the second contact. points probably for Janos Perez. This is match point Ukraine, 24-17. Korinets with the serve. A lot of risks taken. They still have 6 match points. And this will be on Sobos Zaren's serve. 29 years old. He will turn 30 in September. Korinets dig. And this ball is out. The game is over. Ukraine wins this game 3-0 against Hungary. This is now a 3rd victory for Ukraine in their first 3 games. They only lost 1 set to Croatia yesterday morning. 9 points out of 9 possible. Things will be a bit more difficult for Hungary now if they are hoping to qualify for the quarterfinals. They would need probably to win later today against Poland. It will be at 6:15. It was a great pleasure to share this first game of the day with you. Of course, you can follow the action on any other link of Volley Europe YouTube channel. And we will be back early this afternoon with the women's tournament. We will have 3 games together this afternoon, and it's a one pleasure to be with you. The next game we will follow is the game in the women's tournament between Ukraine and Slovenia. It's in the Group A. These 2 teams won their opening game yesterday, and basically it's almost a game to decide who will finish first in this Group A. I'm already excited to be there. Slovenia against Ukraine. This is at 2:15. We will be here around 2:05. Enjoy your day here in Győr. Enjoy your day back home, watching the action on the Volley Europe YouTube channel. And we will be back later today. See you soon.